Would you rather cross paths with a man or a bear in the forest? Random man, random bear.
Like literally, we're being so literal right now. I would have to say, I don't want to say that though.
Well, what did you write on the?
I think I left it blank, to be honest with you.
You did leave it blank.
I just looked at it and I was like,
you do have to answer though.
It's not a hard question.
And by the way,
I feel like this is a bad comparison, to be completely honest, though. So like,
you're not allowed to change your answer. Whatever you wrote here, you have to say it.
Like, are we talking about like any man?
Random. Okay, so it's a random man.
A random man?
Okay, look, here's the scenario.
Because I was taught to run from a bear, so I know how to run from a bear.
Is it a brown bear or a white bear?
It's a pink bear.
Oh, then a bear.
Hold on. Here's the scenario, okay? I mean, it was already kind of written, but...
You said you could have just read it, but...
You randomly spawn in the forest. You randomly spawn.
Just there.
Okay. Then 2 buttons spawn in front of you. One of them would spawn a random man. The other spawns a random bear. So you get to pick which one spawns.
But we
So-
can't change our answer.
I would say a bear.
No, you can't change your answer. You got whatever you wrote here. You have to say what it. So just answer whatever you wrote in the thing.
I only say a bear because my family used to go bear hunting, so I know how to run from a bear.
Okay, so you pick bear. All
Yeah.
right.
I picked bear.
Okay.
I said depends on the man.
Well, it's a random man you don't know.
That's why I'm
Bear.
scared.
Okay.
I picked bear.
Bear.
Man, because I thought he was manly when I read it. I didn't know that it was going to be
Oh,
some
does it
random
change?
scrawny
Does it
person.
change?
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, so now bear.
It depends on who it is, but yeah.
No, but it's a random, so it could be.
Then
Yeah,
I don't
but it-
trust that he's, I guess, a strong,
could
hunky
be-
man.
It could
so bear.
randomly be
Wait, wouldn't that
Could be
be
a
worse?
scary man,
if
a
he's
weak man.
strong...
Could be-
an
No,
elderly
that's
man.
good because then he can protect me.
No. It's not a bear and a man. He's not protecting you from the bear. There's either a man or a bear.
Like you're one-on-one with a man or a bear.
Oh, I was thinking like just he could protect me in any situation in the woods. That's
Let's
what
just
I meant.
assume
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
absent-
It'd be bad
That's
to be
a
alone with
really
a man.
that's a
then.
really strange answer anyway. Like,
Yeah.
what if the random man spawned and he's like, "Oh, I don't give a shit about you. Protect yourself."
That's a possibility. Yeah.
He gives
Yeah.
you to the bear.
He
He was
finds
like,
a bear.
my,
and gives it
my
to you.
chances of surviving in this forest without you greatly increased.
Yeah, why didn't I
So instead,
trust my
I'm
survival
going to
instincts
just
over
leave you here.
Okay, I guess I pick bear then.
I said man, but I changed my answer to bear.
I thought we couldn't change our answer.
Okay.
I say man all the way.
Wait, so bear.
Can I
bear,
change my
Everyone
answer?
Bear.
Yeah.
We're all changing.
What, you want to change it?
Yeah, but
Why?
you said we couldn't, so I was sticking with the script.
Okay, but originally you wrote
Yeah,
bear. but
originally
why
I
did-
wrote
so Why
bear.
did you change?
'Cause it might be a grizzly bear, and I don't fuck with those.
See,
and
that's
I'd
why I
rather
asked
fuck with a
what kind of
stranger in the woods than a
What
grizzly bear.
Okay. So those of you, 2 questions then. Those of you who said bear, why? Like why do you pick the bear? And then why don't you pick the man?
See, I would pick the man if I could have the choice of man, but since I don't have the choice, I pick bear because...
Wait, can you tilt your mic down a little bit? Yeah. There you
Okay,
go. Go ahead.
yeah. But I say pick bear because, like, I don't... Humans sometimes are unpredictable, and if it's a random person, I don't know what they're going to do. And a
Okay.
bear, like, they're just nature. They just probably will run at you, and you kind of just...
Yeah. So just so I understand this correctly, essentially I think what you're saying is with the man, while the bear could kill you, with the man could also kill you. He could also assault you in other ways. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, but the bear might be nice, might kill me. I don't
Okay,
know.
we'll come back to that. What about you? Why do you pick the bear? Why don't you pick the man?
I have 2 answers.
Sure.
Why I picked the bear, I grew up in rural Arizona, so I feel like I went camping all the time, seen lots of bears. I feel comfortable in that situation, for one. And then 2, a random man and a random bear. A man could potentially take away my dignity and then kill me, whereas a bear will just kill me. So
I mean, or like
I'd
eat
rather
you
that.
and let
Yeah.
you die slowly.
Well, I mean, a man could do that too.
Sure. How many? But have you encountered a bear before?
I have, yeah.
How many men have you encountered?
A lot. They're scary.
Hundreds of thousands.
I deal with men all the time for my job.
Yeah, but like just walking down the street.
Yeah.
Like how many men do you think you've like just walked by?
I'm not entirely
Millions?
sure. I wouldn't say millions.
Maybe you were in a classroom, start adding these up. You were in a...
I mean, thousands at least, right?
Certainly
But
thousands, right?
It doesn't matter the statistic of how many men I've gone past, because if we're being quite honest, the amount of men who have done horrible things to me is pretty high of those situations.
What's the percentage?
Enough for me to not feel safe around men by myself.
Not to feel safe. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Before we'll get everybody's answers before we get into any of the details. So, what about you?
What was the question?
Okay. Why do you pick the bear,
Okay.
and why don't you pick the man?
I think the bear is more predictable.
Mm-hmm.
And with the man, I have questions. Why is he alone in the middle of the woods? What,
But,
you know?
okay.
Why am I alone with him? I don't know what he's going to
Well,
do.
here, I don't think this is going to change your answer, but in the scenario I gave, he randomly spawns.
Yeah.
So you like click the thing, whoosh, man, what am I doing here? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's no
This could be a guy who's Saudi Arabian.
He's
This
not
could be
just
a guy
wandering.
who comes in directly from North Korea, or this could be a guy who's from Albuquerque, New Mexico, working the night shift at Ralph's, right? So that's what you're dealing
There's
with.
not like a motivation as to why he's in the woods, really.
Okay, I still...
Wait, actually, I do want to. Do you think men who are like in real life, who do go into the woods or go on hikes, like, do you think, like, what percentage of those men are like going to that environment with this like express intent to like go victimize a woman?
I have no idea, but I love camping and I car camp often. And I've had times where there was just a random man like looking in my car and just like standing in front of my car.
Sure,
I
that's weird.
don't trust it. So
Okay,
bear.
something bad happened. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. All right. What about you?
I initially put bear,
Oh, you're switching your answer.
but
now.
I switched it to man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your genuine new
You
position?
know, I think physicality wise, I trust myself to be able to defend myself against a man, irregardless of the weight or stature, versus taking a chance on an animal, like a
Okay.
wild animal.
But you're still, even if you pick the man, like still like, you're still assuming that the man poses like a risk, essentially.
No, I mean, not intuitively, not innately. Maybe if you.
Okay, sure. What about you?
I mean, I don't feel safe hiking alone.
Sure.
So I would not feel safe with a man in the woods because they are the higher percentage of psychopaths as well.
So it's also, what percentage of men are psychopaths? Because it's a random man.
Over women, it's like in the 90s. 90.
Wait, 90% of men
No.
are psychopaths?
Not 90% of men, but over women.
No, that's not true. Psychopathy doesn't even exist. Psychopathy is not in any American psychological book, any of the DSMs. Psychopathy is not even there.
I saw something
There's
that-
other things you would associate with psychopathy doesn't even exist.
Let's just grant it though. What percentage of men are psychopaths?
I just saw something that, like, you walk by a certain amount of psychopaths on the street and the percentage higher is men.
Yeah, but what percent?
I don't know, but I mean, you could look at serial killer statistics and they're mostly men. So you could, I guess, make a percentage off of that.
I mean, so if I don't understand though. So like, let's say the percentage is 0.0001 in women and it's 0.0002 in men. I like that. That would be technically.
I think I meant
it's a
just
higher
more
percentage.
serial killers, which are all
Which is
psychopaths.
super rare. You know how rare serial killers are. What percentage
Well,
of
and women are also very much. It's up in the air how many women are serial killers because they kill stealthily versus overtly. So, especially in nursing, healthcare, things like this, when they're in positions of caretaker roles, that's when women tend to kill the most. Men, on the other hand, they just do it much more violently, right?
Yeah,
So-
I was talking about in the woods, technically.
But so what? Give us what's the percentage of serial killers? I guess now.
We could look it up. Yeah.
Okay, how about this? Do you think it's less than 1%
Of what?
of the male
Population.
population
I
is
feel
less
like
than
1% is a lot, so probably, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know.
You think? So you went to high school, right?
Yeah, I
How big-
graduated college.
How big was your high school?
Like 2,000 people.
Your class or the whole all 4
My
years?
class.
So there were 8,000 people at your
Yeah,
high
I
school.
went to a big high school.
Okay, so 4,000. So
So I give you the clarification, Brian, real quick.
yeah.
Roughly 1.2% of adult men in the United States are considered to have clinically significant levels of what are considered psychopathic traits, compared to 0.7% of adult women. However, the traits which they consider to be psychopathic does not actually make you a psychopath, right? So they're looking at things like, hang on, let me pull up the traits here. It would be things like communication, other things like lack of empathy, but these things are lower in men anyway, and those things on their own don't actually create the conditionals for any type of borderline personality disorder. So hard to say exactly, but even by the metric, it seems that while it is true that men would slightly outnumber them, this seems like it's a trait problem. We're associating it with traits that are more masculine.
Yeah, violence. Yeah.
But so what percentage of men do you think are serial killers?
And it's very low. I know I shouldn't have brought up the percentage thing. I was just saying that they outnumber the women
Well,
So I wouldn't feel
suppose,
safe.
But
in the woods with them.
okay. All right. What about you?
I just think like men are unpredictable, and I think
Unpredictable,
bear,
okay.
Yeah, bear is predictable.
Bear predictable, okay. And then I don't think you picked bear. This is a point Andrew's brought up before. To those of I think you said predictable. You said predictable, unpredictable. Just curious. So if you walked up to a man and patted him on the head versus walking up to bear and patted the bear on the head, maybe a little rough, a little hard. Which one do you think is going to react more violently towards you?
Is this the same thing, a random man?
Am I saying it?
Yeah, random man, or random bear. If you just walked over to any random guy, like right now in Santa Barbara, you were just walking down the street and you walked over to some random guy and you just patted him on the head, versus if you're walking down the street in Santa Barbara and you walked over to a black bear and patted it on the head. What do you think the outcome difference would be?
It's the bear. The
Yeah.
bear's predictable.
Wait, no, she picks the bear.
It's
No,
the
I know
bear.
you pick the bear, but if you patted the bear on the head versus patting the random guy on the head, what do you think the result would be? The result difference would be? Do you think that the bear would, I don't know, if you went over and tried to pat it on the head, perhaps eat your face, whereas the man would not likely?
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
makes sense.
But if I'm in the middle of the forest or woods and a bear and a man spawn, I'm not going to pat either of them on the head.
Yeah, but which
Yeah.
one would pose a bigger threat if you were to do this?
Obviously a bear, but that wasn't the original question.
Yeah.
Sure, but I mean, it helps
Prove a point.
further kind of articulate
It helps.
the risk factor here. But and then what do you pick, I guess, or your thoughts on that?
I guess it kind of supports your theory. Like the questions are like supporting your theory on how, like, I think like a man could do a lot of things. He could kill you. He could essay. It could be a lot of different things. But a bear, yes, could kill you. Yes, it would be the bear.
Can I
Yeah.
say something?
One quick question, then I'll let you come right in. Just one other follow-up question here. I'm assuming a lot of you guys, either directly or implied, there's a risk when it comes to the men. You're fearful of essay with this man alone in the forest. So my question is, what percentage of men do you think would be inclined to victimize you in this way?
I don't think they feel inclined. This is going to
Well-
sound terrible. I just feel like some men don't know that they're even doing it. Like they genuinely are just so ignorant to what they're doing. They're in their world. They're living in it.
Well, this would not be like a date grape scenario.
Yeah, I know.
Where so this is like he would have to like essentially violently assault you in this
So we're talking about violently assault. Because if, like, say if I'm at a bar and like a guy like comes by, he like touches my ass, and he just keeps grabbing, he might think that if like I don't turn around and say something, that he's just allowed to keep touching me. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like sometimes they think that they're entitled. They don't even realize what they're doing. They're sexually assaulting someone, but they don't even realize. Like, so I'm not saying, like, I don't know.
Sometimes I think also men think that it doesn't matter how many no's they get as long as they get a yes, or as long as you stop saying no. And that's not the same as a yes.
Or as long as you don't say anything.
Yeah, as long as you don't say anything.
Not all men, but some men.
Some men.
Like, I'm not saying that all men,
but
but like I think a lot of men just genuinely don't know what they're doing, and and the harm that they're doing because they're just feeding their own ego in a way.
Okay, so I mean, even I suppose granting your expanded definitions of, or granting the definition, how your definition, mumbling over my words here, granting how you view these certain crimes or whatever, going ahead and granting that, what percentage of men are going to do that in a given situation then, I suppose?
I'll say 40%.
40%? Okay.
For me, it doesn't matter percentage. If there's even a 1% possibility, I would rather die by a bear than be raped. Even if it was 1%
Well, let's try to use like essay. That's fine.
Sorry. Essay. Even if it was 1%.
Yeah, but you don't think it's 1%, do you?
I don't know what the percentage
What do you think it is?
of men that would do that would be capable.
So it's a random man out of the population.
Random man.
So what percentage of men in the population do you think would do this or would be inclined to doing that in the scenario presented?
In that exact scenario, I don't know, maybe 20, maybe like 15.
We'll say 20. We'll say 20. What do you think?
I don't know the percentage, but I remember when I was in college reading something that's saying that like 1 in every 4 college student females will be essayed or something like that. So I'm going to say it's maybe 2%. I don't know.
Okay, before we get into okay, go ahead.
It's how.
So 25% for you. You said 1 in 4, so you're going off that. So 25%.
I mean, not everyone's in college. I don't know. I'm just going to say 2% because I have no idea.
Wait, 2%?
Yeah.
2% is a lot different than 1 in 4.
It is, but in college you're going out, you're partying. I'm trying to consider that. So I'm just going to say 2%.
All right, 2%. All right.
I'm sorry, just to clarify. So it's what percentage I feel any given man is inclined to aggressively act out. Just 2%.
Okay.
Like 10 or 15.
10 or 15?
More than 1%, definitely. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Okay, more than 1% could be 99%.
Okay,
it could be-
2%.
Okay. And then you didn't pick pair.
Men make me feel safe. Like, not all men, but like
Sure.
whoever my other person is, as long as they make me feel safe.
Yeah. Wait, so I'm actually kind of surprised because Andrew, we've asked this frequently. This is one of the first times we've had such low numbers given.
Those were pretty high numbers.
Well, Andrew, a couple of girls said 1%, 2%. That's low comparatively speaking. But we did get a 40% from you and a 20% from you.
I said like 15 or 20.
15 or 20. Okay. So you said 40%.
But with the question, I was the first to answer. Did you mean like literally initiate or just like to think about doing stuff like that? Because I answered on basically like, do men have those thoughts and want and are entitled to do it?
I think I would still think 40% of men want, like they're fantasizing about essaying women. I still think that's pretty high, but.
Or being with women they can't have. So yeah, that's what the conversation.
Wait, y'all, hold on. Wait, that's a little different. Fantasizing about a woman that they can't have. Don't y'all fantasize about like
that's not
men
what I meant.
who y'all can't ever have? Fucking NFL players, athletes, famous musicians. No, you don't have like a celebrity crush?
No, I do not.
That's fucking bullshit, y'all.
It's a part of my disorder. I literally do not.
I don't think it's like. Are you saying it's like mental essay for a guy
No,
to
what I was
have a
saying-
sexual fantasy with like a famous woman or something?
No,
What?
I thought you were saying they have those thoughts. That's it.